Alright, so I'll start this with a do not cut line. Right there. Well, that's going to be kind of a pain. Kind of need to cut it there. But if you see, this edge here isn't set up for that. I mean, it might be in a little bit different position. Yeah, actually it's going to be a little bit above that, so it's alright. Just don't cut right here. I'll just cut below it. Alright, so I had to do some work on the plasma cutter. You guys could use a cutoff wheel to do a lot of this stuff. The reason I'm using the plasma cutter, it's a lot quieter than the cutoff wheel, and I'm working kind of semi outside. So if you were inside your garage with the door shut, you could use the cutoff wheel, but it's better for me to use for the video to just use a plasma cutter. They actually sell these things pretty cheap now. I think I paid $400 for this one a while back, and I think I saw it for like $200 now. You guys that don't remember, I put the rocker on here and I made a do not cut line. I don't want to cut above that line, so that's right about where I want to be. Alright, so we'll speed this up a little bit. Alright, so we got this off. Don't go buy a plasma cutter and think it's going to be faster than cutoff wheel. It's actually slower, but I already cut all this stuff off. Got to peel out that out of the corner. I'm just going to take the air chisel, put it back in the garage, shut the door, and peel that off. Then I'm going to cut that out. I'm going to take off the dog legs, and I'll find out what's left over there. So then I gotta trim all this out real quick. So I'm going to cut that out. I'm going to probably cut this about right here, I think. It depends on how bad it is. And then I'll take this off. But every time I go into rust with that thing, I always hit a problem with this plasma cutter. I don't know if it's just the machine I have. You know, I don't know. That's why I say don't figure out buying one of these things that's going to solve all your problems. It's just not as noisy. So anyway, I'll whack this baby off right here. I already got it marked. I don't know if I had that in the last video. I marked my do not cut line. So you notice I went above it on the other side. Over here, I've been doing a little bit back here too. I went above it on those where those things are because I'm going to put patch panels in there. So anyway, put you guys back on the high-speed chase and bring you guys back in when we get another point. Alright, so on this thing we had 1, 2 stacked rockers. Look how rusty that is behind there. So now we're going to have to treat that. I'll usually put this piece on first. I can't cut through. Have you ever cut through this? Don't cut through the rod. I knew not to. I just stopped right here. You can see where the rod goes right here. And I just stopped right there. And then I'll put that piece in, and then the new one has this very edge on here. That's one of the reasons I decided just to buy it. It's a little bit easier. This door's a little harder to make. That one's a little easier. If you were to choose, you would buy the outer skin for this door versus that one. You can save some money by make that one. Again, here's my do not cut line right there. Well, my do not cut line. I've marked it before I started. You see that one or very little right there. We were actually able to save this rubber mat that was here too. Not so sure about this. I might just do a little patchy there. I'm going to grind all that off, see what's left. I think there's some pretty solid metal there. And then I'll just decide to do whatever I'm going to do. And I got to hit these with a grinder here pretty soon. But what I'm going to do first is I'm actually going to, I have to clean all these first, and then we're going to take a wire brush and clean all these rails up, and then treat all this with some rust reformer. I got a bad one down there too. I'll just patch that guy. So, yeah, I don't want to buy both ends of that, I'm sure. So all we need to do to get this stuff to adhere is you can actually use they have these stainless steel wire brushes at Harbor Freight. You can just go through and do this. All you need to do is remove the scaling rust. Just yeah, see how it's just powder until it's solid. Okay, and then you go through and you can use a drill if you want. You don't need to take everything down to where it's gone. You just have to get it down to where the really loose stuff is gone, and then you use the rust reformer over that. So they have this brand here pad coat. They have this on eBay. They have another one that's on Amazon. They pretty much it's identical product. I'm looking for the can of it. I don't know where it is right now. A lot of stuff moved around here. But there's another one. You can use the spray can one from, if you want to go to Home Depot, they have rust reformer and spray cans. It's in black. We'll do a little sample. I'll show you what it does. Alright, so check it out. I'm going to do this little area right here so you guys can see. This stuff is kind of thinned down because it's kind of old, but it's still, the chemical agent's still there. I'm just going to put on a little with a brush. You can do it with a brush. You're not supposed to, but you can thin it and spray it. I mean, I do it. That's what I do. Thin a little bit because I'm actually going to put something over it pretty quickly. So they just probably don't recommend thinning it because you wait a few minutes. You can see it's kind of, all the rust starting to, where it's going here, it's starting to turn black. And then you come back in about 15 or 20 minutes and the whole thing will be black. And that, you can just watch it turn. You can see that right there. See that? Come back in about 10 minutes and it'll be a black area. It does take a bit of time. So anyway, I'll bring you guys back in, but you can see how red it is over here and how that's turning black right there. When it's done, it'll be pretty darn black. Everything will be just dormant. It just chemically, it stops the rusting process. So, and then after you're done with that, then when I get all done with the whole van, then I'm gonna paint. I don't usually paint it the car color. I'll usually paint everything black underneath. And I use a special paint that's a water-based paint that turns to an oil as it dries. And the reason I use that is because, like, it's got a little bit of rubberization to it, so it's not like a, so the rocks and things like that will kind of bounce off of it, and it still does the same kind of protection that the oil does. It's Vista Paint has it in California. It's called ProTech, or you can use they also have another urethane product that does the same type of thing. It's a water-based urethane, and it works really nice. I use an airless, and I put a nice heavy coat of that underneath, and that pretty much, nothing is, it sticks so well to this stuff that it's something's not going to get between it and the metal again. Not unless, I mean, you'd have to have really you'd have to be driving it in the winter for it really to do that, and I'd hope you wouldn't. So anyway. cutting out the, while I was cutting out the front, Chris was stripping all this here. So we got this all opened up and ready. We could just get this done. Alright, so it's kind of where we ended up here so far. We got about another hour in the day today. So I just coated half of these. You can just see, I just did the, what I do usually is I do the tops of the rails because you can't really shoot them from the bottom. So I usually do the bottom after I'm all done with an airless, because it's real easy. You can get it, you can just jam it up in corners and just squirt it on. Don't worry about the runs. You know, you're just trying to get it protected with this stuff. And then I do the, also do the, this is the rust reformer. And then I also do the paint too with that. So we got the corners out. I mean, this is kind of where we're at. So basically, I've worked on this about one day myself, and today this me and Chris are both working on it. So that's how much we've gotten done. He took all these all apart. And we're not done with the day yet. We got another hour or so here, 2 hours, hour and a half. About 4 o'clock, 3:30 right now, 4. So we got to cut this back off here, and it's very slow going with the plasma cutter. All that's out. All this stuff's out.
Just gotta pull on it, dude.
Yeah, he pulled that out, and look at it. That was in great shape. I think we got to put that back in. What do you guys think? Okay, so that was the pan underneath. We've been just running around as we're going. We're oiling everything. We keep on squirting oil in the e-brake handle. We're going to probably hit it with a torch, just get it hot and see if we can get it to work. We don't take those apart, CT. We leave them together. If they're working, we try and get them to work, free them up, and leave them alone. Those things, don't take those things off. This mount right here, taking that off, I was like, no! If you're watching. Anyway, but yeah, so I'm going to cut these off real quick here. I'll cut off the dog legs real quick because it's a little easier. Once you get it all stripped down, just there's certain things you don't want to take off because you want to use those things to set other panels. Like I don't want to lop these off yet until I get something set up on there. I get my inner rocker. I said outer in another video. Inner rocker on first, clamp it in place. Then I have to grind all this stuff down, get this all straight. I'll show you what I'm using for that later. I'll get that on there, and then I'll use that as a guide to set those. And then I'll cut these off here. Got the windows out. Pretty rotten. Still gonna make these part. I'm not gonna buy it. It's just too expensive. I'll fix that and I'll make this part right here. It's not that hard. I'll show you guys later. That we got this all cut off here. Opened it up around those pillars. I'm gonna get my brush up in there, shove some of that stuff in there, my spray can. Make sure we get as far up in there as I can to get that rust reformer in there to stop the rust. Then over here we got all this out. I got the stuff underneath there out, the tray. This is out here. This we'll be doing a video later on how to remove this without breaking the steering wheel. So that'll do the actual demo on that. I did like a little explanation of it, but now I have a bus to actually do it on, so I thought that'd be kind of cool. I'm going to cut this dog leg off here. It doesn't take very long to do, especially when most of it's already off. Yeah, there's no dog leg there. So I'll get that off. We got back here, I got these new pieces. I had to pick these up. I forgot to order them. I thought I did. I didn't get them ordered. These right here, corners, I'm going to lop those off, but probably not today. I'll lop them off and hold on to them, and then I'll use them as kind of a guide to figure out what I need to make. And then I'll show you. It's not that hard to make those. These are a little tougher. I don't know what this is. I guess, what is this? You guys know? I've never seen one. Did somebody make that? Maybe so.
I can't tell, but it looks like there's tack welds on it.
It looked like terrible tack welds. I think somebody made this. It's usually not here, so I'm kind of wondering what the hell it is.
It's painted, so.
Yeah, it's white and painted. 67 only, maybe? Musty one. Got a 67. Did you have one? Artie's have a 67. I think he does. How about that side? I gotta cut this out. I'll make that little piece there. Then the part that goes down below that. I don't know, I might end up buying it. It's like 21 bucks. Should have bought it yesterday when I was over there. I don't know. This looks bad, but it's not that bad. It's just mostly surface rust. It's just a little tiny bit pitted, but not too bad. So as long as we catch it now, it's just that we're gonna have to paint this whole thing. I was just looking at it. There's just too much damage. If I try and save the paint, it's just not gonna save the bus. It'll find its way to the ground real soon if I don't paint it. So anyway, we'll just move on. Bring you guys back in on some fast motion. Half speed, double speed. All right, noise alert. Had to change the tip. Chris is over there, got the shifter out. How about that? I gotta go through the other layer. I'd like to cut it right there, but then you get through both of them. You can't really. I guess I'll just take the skin off of it. It seems to be cutting pretty easy. Maybe I don't have rust, it goes so much better. Can't open it. Goodbye. My favorite part. Oh boy. It'd be nice if I could cut up in here because it's so rusty though. Maybe it will. I don't know. Let me try it. Sometimes when it's really rusty, it just doesn't go through it. It goes right through it. Such fast, but you know, when is it not rusty? Chunks off? Oh, nice. Yeah, you got that off. Look at this. Got that piece off. Most of it. We use the air chisel for the rest of it, maybe. Usually you can get it with a chisel, but kind of nicked it along there. I'll just fix it with it. Bring you guys back in at another speed here. Guess I'll just cut this off. Oh. Not like Itis. What's that? Yeah. Yeah, I got on regular speed right now. So I'm just gonna, I don't know. I have to figure out how I'm gonna peel this off. Definitely probably gonna have to use a cut-off wheel. I don't want to do that right now. It's getting dark. People get freaked out in the dark around here. Oh man, let's see. I don't know if I can cut this through. see. Yeah. I gotta cut this with something else. Ain't cutting it. Look at that. How about that? See that little propane torch over there? Just heated up the joint really good. And just kept working it until it get light coming at it. But until it started to move, and now we're gonna oil it up. Look at the oil. But yeah, we'll just oil it up and let it sit overnight, and then we'll do it again tomorrow, and should be good to go.